Welcome back to Turn the Antenna, everyone. Today we are going to be breaking down episode 4, season 2, Interview with the Vampire. Really quickly, 2 questions that I had of episode 3 that were not answered. I really want to know what happened to Nikki. And I want to know who was Jean-Paul, the gentleman that was in the jazz club that spoke to Armand and told him to keep it down. He seemed to be human. Armand doesn't look like the type of guy that goes around making human friends. He's not a vampire, clearly, because he's not a part of the coven. Who is he? So I want the answer to that. Anywho, so the last 3 episodes were a laying down of foundation for the season. We were introduced to all the new players, and now with episode 4, we've settled in our ringside seats to spectate the meat of this season's drama. Santiago struggling for supremacy and, dare I say, revenge. Starting off the episode strong, Claudia is acquiescing to her new role as Baby Lou in the coven's new play. Unbeknownst to everyone, the play is kind of like a depiction of Claudia's current circumstance. Like Baby Lou, Claudia is someone and something else at heart and longs to be free. In the play, Baby Lou is ignored by her mother, and in real life, Claudia is starting to feel ignored by Louis. Even the end of the play is a foreshadowing of the inevitable. After over a year of the play, the excessive repetition soon takes its toll. Claudia is completely over stage life. She is no longer going to be tap dancing for the audience, and she lets her sentiments be known. Armand disciplines Claudia, and we see Santiago setting the stage for his usurping of leadership. Armand is Louis' rebound, and it's not supposed to be, love at first sight and all that stuff. I get it, and I also get that they are kind of trauma bonding, to be quite honest with you, right? But it's just so funny how Santiago questions the status of their romance, and both of them give a different answer. Like, get it together, guys. Unfortunately for Armand, he's just not the first choice, right? He wasn't the first choice for Lestat. He's not the first choice for Louis. And that's so unfortunate, knowing Armand's background and seeing that he's someone who's had a really difficult past and he just wants to be cared for. He wants to feel love like we all do, right? And that is so disheartening. As Louis explains what the vampire bond feels like, you can see the discomfort and the insecurity simmering within Armand. Here's the thing about the scene between Claudia and Santiago in the wet room. Claudia, though mentally almost half a century years old, is still very naive. She sees the coven as her family and unfortunately lets Santiago in on her journaling. As I was watching this scene, guys, I was like, girl, Claudia, what are you doing? Trusting this man. Clearly, he's assuming that your time before you came to Paris, every thought, every occurrence has been archived. Like, come on, Claudia. Like, we have to be 3, 4, 5, 6 steps ahead. We have to, right? You dealt with Lestat, and no one was more cunning. No one was more manipulative. Do you not see Lestat's ways in Santiago? Because I see them. I see a lot of them, So for me, I don't know if it's just her wanting to belong that's still blinding her, or is it her despair at being Baby Lou, or loneliness now because of the situation with Louis? Like, what is it that's not clicking? Beware. What is it that's not putting her on guard, regardless of the fact that she's devoted herself to the coven? Claudia has been through some dark experiences, but yet she still has capacity to trust. Unfortunately, this is to her detriment. We can see that Santiago simply wants to gain her trust so that he can get intel. That is it. Also, once again, Santiago brings up his maker's execution with sarcasm and the clenching of his jaw. That man is still mad. That man is still pissed. Trust me, he is coming for y'all. The love interest. I don't know how to feel about Claudia and her seamstress bae. Even though Claudia is technically older, it's kind of difficult for me to reconcile their potential romance because Claudia still presents as a child and the love interest presents as an adult woman. And so I don't know how the writers are going to create that where we are not uncomfortable. I don't know. I get Claudia's draw to her. They are both outcasts in their respective tribes, and I guess that calls to Claudia. Louis is so excited about his new passions and Parisian life that his volume at the table is on max. That voice trick that Santiago did with his mimicking of Louis' voice, though rude, is so cool. And then Armand freezing time again. Like, I want to know how this whole stopping of time works and how it affects the vampires, because Louis and Santiago were still in motion. The other vampires, they were all synchronized and resting their heads on the table while the humans around them completely stopped as they were. Is that a sign of submission on the vampires' part? Like, there is a difference going on there, and I need that explained because it's so cool. I am pretty sure that Santiago's behavior towards Louis, in Louis' mind, is not just rude, but it triggers Louis. It's a reminder of the way that he was treated when he was in New Orleans by the people that looked like Santiago, that looked down on him, that spoke down to him, that saw him as subpar. And that really triggers something in Louis. And so you get that reaction. And it was deserving. Santiago deserved every bit of that. Louis is kind. Louis is compassionate. Louis is sensitive. He is the sweetest out of all of them. But when he is pushed and when his loved ones are in danger, as we will see soon enough, Louis is the most vicious of them all. I get why Armand is over being met. Just the briefing at the restaurant about the individual members while they were sitting at the table, that was really tiring for me. So I can only imagine what it's like to be in Armand's position. They're not just employees who need management, but family members, younger siblings, children, students, etc. The mental toll must be maddening. The guy that Louis visits that buys and sells photographs, I think that's what he does. He said exactly what I think about Armand.
Something fragile about this man. You caught the soul he is hiding.
When Armand takes Louis to the art museum, he finally tells his story. A story of slavery, abuse, neglect, and abandonment. We as the audience are drawn in and made to feel, made to comprehend the enigma that is Armand. Sam Reid's Lestat is dressed just like Brad Pitt's 1990s version of Lestat in this scene, and I am digging it. During Louis and Claudia's spat at the apartment, Louis reveals that he was hurt at Claudia choosing the coven over him. I think that the commonalities Louis discover in Armand's true story, along with Claudia's devotion to the coven, draws Louis even closer to Armand. Yes, Armand is a rebound, but Louis needs family. He needs a friend. And so he folds and tucks away his love for Lestat in the margins of his heart. For now. At the end of the episode, Santiago finds Claudia's stash of diaries after he breaks into her and Louis' apartment. We all saw that coming. I'm kind of relieved that Armand is aware that Santiago is making a play at leadership. At least he and Louis can come up with a really good defensive plan and they can be better prepared when everything hits the fan. I absolutely adore Armand referring to Louis as maître. I love it. It is so sexy. On a serious note, though, Louis is the one with the actual power in both romantic relationships. He just never abuses it. And that is it for episode 4. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will speak to you all in a few days.